Boris Johnson's former advisor and closest aide Dominic Cummings revealed he objected to the Prime Minister's principal private secretary Martin Reynolds' invite because it was totally social and not work. His revelation comes despite Mr. Johnson telling Parliament the Bring Your Own Booze party was in fact a work event, which he had attended for 25 minutes to thank staff for all their hard work during the coronavirus pandemic. But Mr. Cummings, now a fierce critic of Mr. Johnson, urged the Tory leader to admit he broke the rules and resign. He posted on Twitter, "Whole point of why I and other official told Mr. You're doing holding a party was cause the invite equals OBV totally social not work. You and like all the MTNGS and garden. No way technically within rules." On Monday, an email in which Mr. Reynolds invited Downing Street staff to the gathering in May 2020 was leaked. It is the latest of a string of leaks and reports about lockdown parties occurring in Number 10. Up until now they have focused on the period surrounding Christmas 2020, when the country was under its second lockdown. But today, in a battle to save his premiership, Mr. Johnson was forced to admit he attended the event. However, insisted he believes the event could have technically been within the rules at the time. In the face of calls to resign, Mr. Johnson told the Commons, "Number 10 is a big department with a garden as an extension of the office, which has been in constant use because of the role of fresh air in stopping the virus. And when I went into that garden just after 6 on the 20th of May 2020 to thank groups of staff before going back into my office 25 minutes later to continue working, I believed implicitly that this was a work event. With hindsight, I should have sent everyone back inside. I should have found some other way to thank them. And I should have recognized that, even if it could be said technically to fall within the guidance, there would be millions of people who simply would not see it that way. People who suffered terribly. People who were forbidden from meeting loved ones at all, inside or outside. And to them, and to this house, I offer my heartfelt apologies. And all I ask is that Sue Gray be allowed to complete her inquiry into that day and several others so that the full facts can be established, and I will of course come back to this house and make a statement." Replying to Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer's calls for him to resign, Mr. Johnson added, "I thought it was a work event and I regret very much that we did not do things differently that evening, Mr. Speaker, as I said, and I take responsibility and I apologize, Mr. Speaker. But as for his political point, I don't think that he should preempt the outcome of the inquiry." Mr. Cummings resigned from his role as Brexit advisor to Mr. Johnson following an explosive row with the Prime Minister in November 2020. A dispute erupted over how Downing Street is run and the appointment of a new chief of staff to Mr. Johnson.